Good afternoon, Kenyans, and welcome to the program. This is a new beginning. Thank you so much for choosing Sikika Road Safety, your number one road safety partner. And guess what? This is our new studio, for road safety. And again, don't forget, we're going to be teaching you so many things on road safety. So again, msiwe makosa sana, we need to improve. Tuambieni you need to improve, you need to improve because ndio mwanzo mpya. It's a new baby, unajua? Lazima tukanache ili kuwe vile ingefaa kukua. So guys, welcome to the program. My name is Daniel. And by the way guys, tumekuwa tukipokea a lot of issues ya kwamba mtu aligonga na gari ama alikuwa kwenye gari ikapata ajali lakini akupata compensation. Unajua? Hizo ndo zile maswali watu wanajiuliza. What happened? Do you know the processes, what you're supposed to do for you to get compensated, And this afternoon, actually, I'm joined. We are privileged because I have a guest in the studio. So, karibu sana, sir.
I'm glad to have me.
So, can you just start by introducing yourself and where you're coming from?
Okay, my name is Ngai Wakuchio. I'm a lawyer and an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And it's a pleasure for you to be having me. We deal more precisely or more extensively with road traffic accidents. In short, we call them RTAs. Any involvement that involves an accident within the road. And for every users within the road who unfortunately comes to the event that he occasions an accident, by Kenyan law is mandatory or has the right to be compensated. Some for the loss, for the injury. Loss, by loss I mean loss of life, it can be fatal, to the injury with different levels of injuries. Yeah, from soft tissues to fractures of bones to breakage of bones. And when I say road users, entirely, I just not particularly mean the driver. Road users is a lot of people use the roads. So that I'm meaning the driver, I'm meaning the pedestrian, I'm meaning the cyclist, I'm meaning the motorcyclist, I'm meaning the pillion passenger for the cyclist, and any other passenger. Those are road users.
Even the PSV passengers.
Even the PSV passengers.
And Wakili, one thing, I've realized with you guys, you normally love using heavy terms, mnaingisha watu woga. So so on this show, kindly, just break it down to a layman's language. Usitumie zile terms zitu ambazo some of us atutelewa vizuri. Now, so Wakili, take us through, paint the picture for us. For someone to get compensated in case of a crash or an accident, what are you supposed to have? Ndio hii kesi kwanza ianze officially, Yeah.
At the site of an accident, there are many things that tend to happen, but most importantly is the welfare of the victim who has found the accident. Before even the factor of compensation comes into play, at the accident point, how is the victim of the accident? What's the situation of the victim of the accident? So advisably, is for, at the point of accident, for the victim to seek for medical intervention. That's the paramount action.
Yes.
On the onset of an accident. Seek medical intervention, then after that is when one will file for the process of compensation. So the process of compensation, it will also have to have a formal essence. That meaning that it has to be formalized. And the people or the entity that are responsible for formalizing an accident are the Kenya Police. Yeah. The laws by the driver, the Traffic Act.
Yeah.
Article 70 to 73 covers the accident sections, and it mandates that at the point of an accident, the driver has a duty to stop. The driver has a duty to stop, and he has a duty to give out the name and the addresses of him, the name and the addresses of the owner of the vehicle, if he is not the owner of the vehicle itself. If failure to that, it's obligated upon the same driver to go and report to the police station within the 24 hours of the occasion of that accident. Because we understand sometimes within an accident scene, it can be a hostile scene too, towards that end where there's some rowdiness, somewhat. Yeah, you can escape towards that, but it's needed for a report of the same. So after this victim, maybe unfortunately an accident has happened, maybe let's say to a pedestrian. He has been hit by a vehicle. Basing on the level of injuries that he has occasioned, he has sought for the medical intervention. He ought to be assigned a police officer, who we call the IO, investigating officer. The investigating officer is obligated to take the statement, because later on in the trial, he can come to form part of the witness somehow. He'll give testimony. So after the satisfied that the medical intervention has been approached well and someone is fit to now file the claims, it's the IO, the investigating officer, will be obligated to give him what is called an abstract. An abstract, a police abstract, and there are different forms of abstract. So that one particularly will be injuries abstract, road injuries abstract. Yeah, which is free.
Oh, it is free.
It is free.
But in some cases, victims wanaenda pale, they're told, bring 2,000, bring 115, bring 10,000.
That's not the vision of the law, because the laws, it's even on the abstract itself, there's the memorandum behind it. It's very expressly defined. It has to be free.
Okay.
Yeah, because the abstract is a very necessary document. It formalizes that occasion of the accident. From the abstract is when you'll get the victim, you'll get the date of the accident, you'll get the registrations or the identities of the vehicle that was involved in the accident, and it needs to be, it will give the injuries. If it was fatal, it will indicate if it was fatal. If it was injury, who was a pedestrian, it gives a summary of what is very needed to formalize the case. It'll give even the name of the investigating officer, and it's at the end till it has to be stamped.
The abstract now?
Yeah, by the base commander.
Oh, the base commander.
Yeah, the base commander. Give authority to it.
Let's say this. So, because people have been wondering, some of these victims wamekuwa kitishwa pesa, for... Okay, let me ask you this question. And by the way, our viewers, kindly feel free to, ask Wakili questions, for you to have a better knowledge, on the same. Ndio wakati itatokea, you are in a good position to know now what to do and where to start from. So, Wakili, so your document umeitaje?
It's called an abstract.
An abstract.
Yeah.
Now, is this document the one that will determine whether you're going to be compensated or not?
The matters of compensation, it's about a court to decide, because the court needs to identify three aspects of it. First is a liability, because you cannot be compensated for your own action. You see that? Yeah. If the accident was a full responsibility from yourself, then you don't have a platform for compensation. But since it will be involved another party, who has a third party who has occasioned it to you, that's when you'll decide to have a compensation. So actions that relate to you, basically there's no compensation. So the court is there to determine on three aspects: liability, who is liable and to what degree. The second one is quantum. Quantum is a calculation after the damage. Yeah, quantum then damages. Damages, to what degree of level is the damages? Was it a soft tissue? Was it fractures of bones? Those are they are determining factors towards the damages itself, because the damages are usually paid in two categories. The special damages are damages which can be quantified. They can be put into a calculation. The receipts, I could say, maybe the various medical expenses that you occasioned first before you went through the accident itself. I could say the medical fees, when you search the team's action, that 500, that's a special damage. Yeah. General damages is usually the pain and suffering.
Okay.
The pain and suffering at the point of the accident. Yeah. So also there can be future medical experts. So general damages needs to be assessed, and it's the court to assess the damages, basing on judicial precedents, other judicial matters that have been adjudicated. Yeah, that's where and it was its own matrix or calculation of how it can calculate the damages, basing on dependence. But that one I should come to another point. Yeah, it's a wide topic.
Okay.
But I'll just talk of it on the icing.
And Wakili, when someone is involved in a road crash or a road accident, police normally tell you, go and get go get treated and go for a checkup and all that. How does that play, in terms of
that's a sound advice, for the fact that your welfare comes paramount before any other claim. So the doctor comes first. I'll like to advise the same also the viewers. So if a police officer asks you to go seek the medical intervention, it doesn't mean the end of the case.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's what you call statute of limitations. Accidents.
But Wakili, just these terms, please. Just break it.
I'll break it down. That statute of limitations.
Yes.
Because I need to define it first, then I can break it down.
Yes.
For you to understand. So statute of limitations give the timelines of what cases can be brought to court or action. Something like an accident belongs to what we call a tort. Basically, it's on the negligence aspect of it. So a tort has a statute limitation of 3 years, meaning at the occasion of the accident, you only have 3 years after that to bring an action to court.
To bring an
action to court, to seek for that compensation through a court system.
Okay, so it can go for up to 3 years.
Up to 3 years, that's a maximum.
Okay.
After that, it will be, you can only go through a leave of court, which is a process too. You apply to the court. If the 3 years are surpassed and no action has been brought, and you have justifiable grounds for that delay. So if an action, maybe it happened on this date, it will take after 3 years, up to calculatively, up to this point, after 3 years, then that action can be brought.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 years.
And Wakili, I know you've talked about so many things up to now, but I want you just to break it down and tell our viewers. And by the way, our viewers, kindly, kama kuna any question, ask Wakili because ako ndani ya studio, And by the way, this is the good news, because watu wengi sana wamekuwa wakipigwa chenga. Unachukua lawyer, analipwa na insurer wako, pesa inapotea. Maybe some lawyers ni wakora. I'm not saying all lawyers. Some lawyers. Ukweli ama ni uongo Wakili?
That's true.
And that's actually now we've launched this service. If you are involved in a road crash or a road accident, now Sikika, we're providing this service to you now. Since ni kweli Wakili.
That's very true.
So basically we've partnered with a Wakili here who are actually tumepartner na yeye tupiganie haki za watu. Wakati umeumia through a road crash or a road accident, now you can report to us through our Wakili. Now anachukulia hapo na unapata your full compensation. Ama namna gani Wakili?
Very true.
So please kindly continue to send in your comments because I'm going to read them na niuliza Wakili. So Wakili, tuambie tu step 1 kuwa na hii, step 2 kuwa na hii, step 3 kuwa na hii. Sasa after hapo tunaanza hii case officially.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically now after the medical intervention,
yes,
you seek the abstract. Then the abstract, additionally, you seek the P3 form. P3 form is issued with a government-affiliated hospital. The P3 has 2 parts. It has the first part which describes the it's filled by the police investigating, the IO. Yeah. The second part is given by them, is filled by the medical officer. Yeah. So the first part, it will give a description of what happened, your names, your details. Then the second one, it will assess your injuries. Yeah. And like I said, the P3 also has there are different types of P3. Yeah. There are for the sexual offenses, P3 for the assaults, and for the injuries, P3s, yeah. So it will describe for what the medical observation at that point is towards you, yeah. So that's a government intervention. So those are the two formalities of documents that are needed to formalize that occasion of an accident, the abstract and the P3, yeah. Additionally, now when you are the obtainers of those two documents, basing on the levels of injuries is what will inform us the course of action or the jurisdiction of the court level we have to go. Because there are two types. These days also we have the small claims court. Small claims court are courts which are established to handle small matters, and personal injuries also can come towards that. Personal injuries, the court has a jurisdiction, monetary jurisdiction of 1 million. So for basing upon your advice, your assessment, the injuries don't qualify, or they qualify below the 1 million, then you can file the case through the small claims court, which is a very fast. It's a very fast process for adjudication from start to end. But you know, the abstract and the what, those are supporting documents.
So, Wakili, how long can a case take?
A case, no, a case varies. There's no definite timeline for how long a case can take, because what determines a case is the facts and the evidence that are available and circumstance, extrinsic factors, really factors beyond the normal operations of a court. So basically, and something I forgot.
Yes.
It's permitted by law.
Yeah.
At any given time.
Yes.
A matter can be settled outside of the court system. Any other time before, after the accident, and within the trial of the process.
So Wakili, you're trying to mean, for example, I've been injured, and maybe the person comes to me and tells me, "Hey, look, Dan, come, we settle this matter outside the court." Is that allowed?
That's permissible. That's an alternative dispute resolution. That's permissible at any given time. So long as you feel it's satisfactory, the offer that is given to you by the occasion of the accident is given to you. If you feel it's satisfiable, yeah, you can put matters into, but I'll advise seeking the services of a lawyer. It's very important. Yeah, that small cost can safeguard further occasions of losses, of incurring of losses. Yeah, put it down in writing through a lawyer who has your best interest at heart, professionally and by heart. Yeah, so it's allowed. Even the insurance, you know, at the end of it, that's why insurance are there. They're mandatory, meaning that every cases of accident ought to be compensated, because the vision of the law is that every car within the Kenyan roads has to be insured somehow. Yeah. It doesn't matter the level of insurance that it is, whether it's a third party or a comprehensive or a premium. At the end of it, it's just that insurance. Because accidents are things which happen by chance, Bwana Daniel. Okay. I don't think there's anyone who foresees or wishes for an accident to occur. And it has happened to victims even of high places. Yeah. Yeah. An example is late Queen Diana. Is a victim of a road traffic accident. Yeah, which went fatally. And you see, also, when I mean compensation, I don't just mean by injuries. There's fatality. Fatality is the loss of life. The loss of life. Also that, to an extent, has to be compensated. So, basically the next of kins, there are things you'll go through the step of, you'll get the letters, letters of grant. which will allow you to sue on behalf
Yes.
of a victim of an accident who unfortunately died. You see?
Yeah.
So it doesn't end with the death of a victim.
Mm.
The kings, who, because it can be a breadwinner who has lost his life.
Mm.
Yeah. So the family that are left behind needs also to get some justice. You know, this compensation, it's an economic and a social endeavor.
Okay.
Yeah, it has merits towards that end. Economic, you'll calculate the welfare of the person. Social, we live in an organized society. So it has its ripple effects somehow. Yeah.
Okay, someone is asking here, why is it that some lawyers, they get paid, yet they don't give money to the victims?
That's a point of ethics,
Yeah.
basically. Because in our training, we are trained professionalism and ethics. Yeah. So we ought, the lawyer or the advocate has a fiduciary duty, as some level of good interest duty towards the client. So basing on what they had agreed, because you know there's some agreement, that's why it needs to be quantified. It's better you sign an instruction fee, or you sign something down denoting what has to be given. Failure towards, I can't. There's not a I cannot blanket accusation, because they are rogue lawyers. That's an admission. Just like in any other profession, the doctors, medical, and other professionals, they are rogues. Yeah, and it's unfortunately for us to share in that shame. Yeah, it's not something that will sweep it under the carpet or something of the sort. But there are steps towards that end, where you find a lawyer maybe who was swindled, unfortunately swindled, a client's claim. Yeah, you can, we have our disciplinary committee within the Law Society of Kenya. You can file an application towards that there. Yeah, then they'll come and see the case, summon the advocate, and they'll know the way forward, they'll advise the way forward.
Okay.
In terms of that.
Someone is also asking here, why is it that the insurance does not give the victim money directly, but it passes through a lawyer?
Okay, there are instances where it can pass direct to the nini, but for fiduciary trust, you know, also the lawyer has his fee, and he has his part of the claim somehow. His fee part from the claim, and a share of also part of that claim to bring it to what is here. Because you know, when at the trial between these road traffic accidents, much more information is passed within the lawyer. It's just the duty of the lawyer who informs the client if there's a hearing, if there's he'll come to testify, because communication is usually done between the lawyer of the advocate and the lawyer of the victim or somebody. Yeah. Okay. It usually doesn't go direct to the victim. So on that essence is where it's felt that also, because you know, a lawyer also has a client account, which is not his personal account. Yeah, those are, he just holds in fiduciary in trust for every amount that comes on behalf of the client. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Actually, I can see that means I've already actually gone kimchezo mchezo. So tunapomalizia bwana wakili, because I know we're going to discuss a lot of these things, you know,
broadly
going forward.
True.
So our viewers, like I've said, you know, we've actually launched a service whereby we're going to be, you know, helping victims, you know, of road crashes and accidents, you know, to get compensated, that is, because to realize some of these people, unajua pesa inalipwa, wengi inatawapatiwa pesa, unajua. And that's why actually we partnered with you know, our lawyer here, so that we can offer those services to you guys. So anytime you have any challenges, and by the way, bwana lawyer,
yeah, true.
Let's say for example, pesa ilipatiana kwa a rogue lawyer, na kakula hiyo pesa. Can someone follow that money and recover it? Yeah,
recover. You can also take a civil action towards the lawyer you can, yeah, you can file a case of court just for professional misconduct for that. I'll call it malfeasance, yeah, of the lawyer in part.
You call it what?
Malfeasance. Professional acts which are unprofessional acts which tend to affect the outcome of the service that the lawyer is giving. So basically, he can take a civil action. He can take him to court also.
Okay.
Yeah, then you claim it back straight to the nini. So long as they document it. And I'll advise also to keep going further. I think I'll advise it, but I can just mention it if you can allow.
Yes, please go ahead.
Judgment. That judgment is what determines it will quantify what's given, because it's the court which gives the amount that is needed. Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
And like I said, there are there's a decretal judgment. That's the judgment that the court comes from its own. Then there's a consensual judgment. That's the judgment which comes between the parties. You know, it can happen within the trial.
Okay.
Yeah, consensual judgment. The insurance can come and say, yeah, we are willing to give you this and this, settle for this. If you find it satisfactory, for the interest, maybe they'll come, maybe to cajole you for the interest of time.
Okay.
For the interest of time, maybe we put the case expeditiously. Haraka, tuifanye haraka. Yeah, if you can start it's put on writing and you will find on the court. Yeah.
Wow. And
the checks will become, you know, things with doing monetary, kuna paper trail. There's a lot of paper trail that is left.
Yeah. Which
one can can pinpoint. The paper trail will give the timestamps, it will give the amount that was given. Yeah, though insurance is another sector on its own, because you know the insurance takes the liability of the owner. Yeah. So at the occasion of an accident, in fact, it's the owner who's at first put at liability. We notify the owner, maybe through a demand letter. Then it's up to the owner to identify or to notify with his insurance. So from there, it's the insurance to take the name. So it will be the insurance which will be defending you as a driver, and the other lawyer will be prosecuting the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone is asking here. So that means the OB will play a very important role in future in that case.
Yeah, the OB is an occurrence book, but that's a number. I'll advise strongly for an abstract. An abstract will give us more details of the accident. It will give us where the accident occurred, what time, when by date, by time maybe, to an extent, the names of the injured party, witnesses if they'll be available there. It will give us also the registration of the motor vehicle. You know, it's a formal document too, just like the OB. So the OB is for reference.
So there's a difference between the OB?
There's a difference, yeah, there's a difference. Because the abstract is a form.
Okay.
Yeah, the OB is just, it's an occurrence book. So there it just gives it captures what had happened. Okay. They give you the number. It's just for reference. It's basically used for reference. I can refer to this and this and this, it was reported this and this. But after that is the abstract, which is of importance, and the P3.
So everybody needs to be very careful what is written on that abstract, right?
Yeah, he has a right to look fast, because, the injury is very details. You know, they say the devil hides in the details. So everyone needs to be cautious on any detail that is written there.
Yeah.
The levels of, also the P3 is still a form, which is filled, just like the abstract is filled. From the abstract, when you get that is when you write a demand letter. A demand letter is just you notify the other party to accept liability. On the failure, a legal action will be taken.
Yes.
So that's the written, the letter the lawyer has to write to the other party and serve him. So service, that's another part. It needs to be served. And you need to write an affidavit of service if it wasn't filed by a certified server. But as an advocate can serve. So the good days these days, you can serve also through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
You can serve also through email. Yeah, where you find the other side is not available to be given to be served by hand or something towards that. Yeah. So from there, after the demand letters, you will write a notice to sue, intentions to sue. That one an advocate will draft. You'll serve on that. And then if there's no response through the demand letter is when you start filing a suit through the court. And you file, there's structure. Like I told you, these courts are different. There are two basing on the level of injuries. The small claims and this magistrate court. So the magistrate courts comes to where, I'll say, breakages of bones. Not small, soft tissues, damages, injuries, superficial injuries, small, I'll use my, you told me to not use a lot of legal jargon.
Yeah.
I'm trying as well. But it's something I'm passionate, that's why I'm speaking towards that. And yeah, the levels of injuries, it will determine which court you file the case to. So for for injuries that are felt to be $1 million and above, that one will usually be within the breakages of bones. Yeah, that's what now you file now the other way from the magistrate court, not the small claims. Yeah. Wow. So you'll put the demand. You have written the demand. It wasn't replied. Then you'll be given summons by the court. Summons is when the court now calls the other party to appear. It's usually within 14 days after the service. You'll serve him. You'll get it from the executive of the court. Then you'll serve the other party. It calls him to come and put a defense on the case. Failure to which the case can take, and it can be hard expert. Without the other, a ruling can be done ultimately without the input of the other party. Wow. Yeah.
Interesting. Bwana wakili, simamia tu because I know questions are really coming here. Yeah. And by the way, our followers, today was just introduction, to these things actually. Much more is coming, because guys, we are fighting for you, Like I've said, we've actually launched, a service just to help you guys. Zile wale ambao pesa zimetoroka, kujeni tutawasaidia. Wale ambao umekuwa involved now, contact us, through our lawyer. Now we can help you, in a very professional way, get compensated. So, bwana wakili, because we're doing, just the opening part of basics. The basics. So kindly next time, come with these documents so that our viewers can see how they look like. Okay. When we're talking about, the obstacle, how does it look like,
exactly.
For them to see
exactly
where they can get it,
exactly.
And things to do. Maybe maybe sure you can differentiate between that small court and the big court.
Big court.
Where the case now will lie. Kama ni hiyo soft tissue ni hapa, kama ni the big, bones, it's here. So, Bonokili, what are your parting shots tukimalizia the program?
My parting shots is there's a nexus between the law and the road users. Everything is regulated. Most things is regulated. Like they have even acts for just specific actions within like the Fatals Act that will cover people who die as a result of road accident. The Trafficked Act, that's more the basis of the traffic, whatever is there. So my nini is to be very observant. First and foremost, be cautious on the roads. I mean, don't cross a continuous line, as they say. Advisably, yeah. Be cautious on the roads. In the event of an accident, we have teamed up with Mr. Daniel to cover basically much more on your end, your interest end. Yeah. Very be observant. If they are witnesses, they form a very good basis within the actions or trials which are taken to court. So put things on record. Put things just on the observation. Yeah, for what you can. If you are in a position to observe, just observe things, and don't be worried now that there is an initiation between road safety and the law. Yeah, you can feel free to reach us. That's for sure. We'll take you through the murky waters, the intricacies of the law towards that. Yeah. I could only say that, and I'm sure it's a going concern process. So much more will be sharing.
Definitely,
as we
because
come.
you're going to be actually having you every Monday,
Exactly.
at 1. Yeah. So that you can actually,
Yeah.
shed more light on this.
On this.
As we're helping people to get justice, on the
Justice
same.
is important.
Yes.
The rights. Know that it's your right to be compensated.
Mm.
Yeah, that's of more importance, because there's a lot of ignorance between rights and actions within the people. Just get accidents and they say it was an accident, but it doesn't stop there. Yeah, it doesn't stop there. A livelihood can be disrupted. You can be accidents form the highest number of disabilities. And unfortunately in Kenya we live in the society where the statistics don't favor us. Yeah, on that basis of accident. So basically people just take care, and yeah,
Wow.
we are here to get you.
So all viewers, hope actually you've learned something new, from the lawyer. So guys, this is a new chapter. There's a new baby here. Then we are going to work with you. For the past 4 years, guys, you've really worked with us. You've stood with us, and now we've actually decided to partner with our lawyer now to bring this good service to you guys. So anytime, God forbid, but in case you are involved in a road crash or road accident, now we are here to serve you. Now wachana na wale rogue lawyers and all that. Now guys, come, we help you get your full compensation na maisha isonge mbele kama kawaida. Na kama maybe ulikuwa mahali pesa yako ilitoka mahali ikakuliwa, also guys, come, we are going to help you, ama namna gani bwana wakili?
Sure, yeah, we are here to serve.
Yeah. And don't forget, this program will be actually airing, Sema na Lawyer, ama Sema na Sikika. That is on Monday from 1, As much as we are educating you, we also want to help you, get justice, wakati umejipata in a situation like that. So guys, thank you so much for watching, See you on Wednesday with imports with Caliph Cairo, Kai and Caro, it's about vehicles, okay, So see you on Wednesday, guys. Thanks for watching. My name is Daniel.